a lot of the problems I have are similar to those of disabled people, because I can't sit in certain seats, or I can't get through a turnstile, and there were a lot of turnstiles around in those days. They've since been removed, I think, because of the disability rights movement.
So I started a group shortly after I got my act together called BAD, Black and Disabled. And that was my first kind of foray into really putting myself out on the line, saying, you know, I'm going to be for this movement.
I was asked to create an accessible space for the Gay Pride celebration. At that time, there was no real access area where people with disabilities could be accommodated, could sit and enjoy the parade and the speakers. So I was lucky to be asked by Diane Sabin if I had a small amount of money, what I could do with that to create a space for disabled people to sit. So I got started on that, and then with Laura Rifkin, we built up that program to be an incredibly wonderful, accessible program and a model for all kinds of activities from there on out of how to make an event accessible. And we did things no one had ever done up until that, at least in California that I know about. Maybe they did more on the East Coast, I don't know. But we had services for people with HIV/AIDS. We had lounges for people to lay out on. We served water. We made sandwiches and fruit, threw sandwiches at people. And it was amazing. We got umbrellas for the lounges so people wouldn't be in the hot, blazing sun the whole afternoon. And we were both pretty proud of that work we did.
And we developed this idea of a barricaded corridor along the whole length of the parade, which in those days was a very specific route. And so we had to work all year long with the police department to get this barricaded corridor, and then explain to the parade why we needed a barricaded corridor so that people in wheelchairs were not crushed and could actually go along the route of the parade.
And now the San Francisco Pride Committee has an elder space just for elders, and also disabled viewing of the parade and a disabled viewing of the stage. So that wasn't just given to us. You know, disabled people fought for that. I'm in a group called OLOC, Old Lesbians Organizing for Change. And we fight ageism and sexism. And one of our little tricks that we do, when we go in a store looking for greeting cards, if we see any ageism, we take those cards and put them in the back or back in the drawer underneath, or anything that is offensive, we get rid of it.
I got involved in Access Dance Company in 1987 when the company first formed. And I think a lot of my activism, because I've got so busy with Access so fast, I became kind of less obviously active, but I feel like Access, you know, we're a company of dancers with and without disabilities, and we're one of the first companies. We're kind of the first generation of, you know, what we would call physically integrated dance. And I feel like we've had to be really activists and advocates in the presenting community, the performing arts presenting community, you know, with theaters and, you know, getting access for ourselves as performers, getting access for, you know, wheelchair using audience members. And it's been, so my activism, I think, is kind of more on a more subtle level, but it's definitely kind of on a daily basis.
I remember in 1978 when Harvey Milk got shot. When he got shot and killed, it was shown on national TV. And I was in the Philippines when I saw him, how he was shot right here in San Francisco, and all I hear is, well, he deserved to die, he's a faggot. And that was the first time I ever heard the word faggot. And I remember my mother saying something, you know, about gay people. That was the first time I heard homophobic comment. And that's the first time I stood up and said, you know what, Mom, I'm gay.
First thing that comes to mind would be the charismatic value, the power of women, especially of women who have been marginalized. So, you know, this is a very individualist culture here. This is the culture of self-assertiveness and those things that were very odd to me when I came here. But I think it's a combination of women accepting to love themselves and feel their power, and also put that power to service. It's like, feel the rage. Rage on, my people. Anger is a driving force. Don't let it die. Don't let it dilute. Anger is a driving force. Doesn't make you hateful. Being outraged at an injustice is like the red flag that you can carry high to other women. And I think that there is less label nowadays on lesbians as, oh, what do you do in bed? People realize that it's way beyond what we do in bed. It's a state of the soul. It's a revolution. To me, a lesbian is the epitome of revolution.